One of the younger members was called upon to take the lead, but quickly expressed his reluctance, claiming the task was impossible. Frustrated by the lack of courage in the room, the family head demanded someone step up. At that moment, the quiet man nudged his companion, encouraging her to accept the challenge. She hesitated at first, unsure of herself, but his unwavering confidence in her abilities gave her the courage she needed. She stood up and declared, "I'm willing to give it a try." The announcement shocked everyone in the room, leaving them staring in disbelief. Most thought the decision was reckless and bound to fail. Grand Group was a giant compared to their family, and any attempt to collaborate seemed impossible. One of the family members began mocking her, questioning her capabilities. Others joined in, laughing and belittling her for even thinking of taking on such a challenge. Their taunts were relentless, and her face burned with embarrassment. She wanted to withdraw from the idea, regretting that she had even spoken up. The family head, observing the scene, was unimpressed with the crowd's cowardice. Although she usually held a low opinion of her, she was impressed that at least someone had the courage to accept the task. She silenced the mocking voices and announced that the challenge would officially be handed over. With hesitation, she agreed, mumbling that she would try her best. One of the men scoffed, making it clear he didn't believe in her success. At this point, another individual stepped in, challenging the man. His confident tone caught everyone's attention as he proposed a bet. If she succeeded, the mocking man would have to kneel and admit he was wrong. If she failed, the challenger promised to do the same. The mocking man laughed, thinking the deal was absurd. Confident of his victory, he accepted the bet in front of everyone. To ensure no one backed out, the challenger loudly emphasized the consequences of going back on their word, tying it to their family's honor. After the meeting ended, they returned home, where her parents were furious. Her mother paced the room, scolding her for taking on such an impossible task, while her father directed his anger at the challenger, blaming him for influencing her decision. Despite their outbursts, the challenger remained calm, expressing unwavering confidence in her abilities. Her parents dismissed his optimism as foolishness, convinced that failure was inevitable. However, his steady reassurance and belief in her planted a small seed of hope, even as doubts loomed. The woman sighed as her parents continued to ridicule her husband. She softly said, "Please don't blame him. This was my decision. I just want us to regain some respect after all these years." Her mother, however, was quick to retort, saying that even if the family matriarch tried, she wouldn't succeed. The man silently observed the argument, a faint smile on his lips. He knew they would never believe the truth about his connection to the company they were discussing. A sudden knock at the door broke the tense atmosphere. The older woman went to open it, revealing a sharply dressed young man with an air of confidence and charm. Her face lit up as she greeted him enthusiastically. The young man explained that he had heard about the woman's upcoming challenge and came to offer his help. He was warmly invited in and treated like an honored guest. Ignoring the man of the house entirely, he approached the woman directly, suggesting that his family's influence could assist her. She, however, politely declined his offer, saying she preferred to handle it on her own. This response shocked her mother, who couldn't understand why such help was being refused. The husband then spoke, questioning how the visitor planned to assist. The young man, clearly annoyed, began boasting about his family's supposed connections and their involvement in a major project. He used the opportunity to belittle the husband, urging the woman to leave him and seek someone better, but the woman stood firm, defending her husband and declaring her loyalty. The visitor, now furious, stormed out, slamming the door behind him. The mother, enraged, blamed the man for everything, accusing him of driving away their chance for help. She ignored his calm response and continued to vent her frustrations. Meanwhile, the man inwardly smirked, knowing that the company would no longer have any ties with the visitor's family. Despite the commotion, the woman remained determined to face the upcoming challenge. The mother, however, lamented her misfortunes, feeling burdened by what she saw as endless disappointments in life. The morning began with a woman carrying a file of proposals she had prepared overnight. Accompanied by her husband, she arrived at the towering 100-story office building of the renowned company. Staring at its grandeur, she felt a deep sense of inadequacy. How could her family's modest business ever secure a deal worth $30 million with such a prestigious corporation? The idea seemed absurd. Still, she had promised to take on the challenge and had to follow through. Feeling her anxiety, her husband gently reassured her. He stroked her head and spoke with unwavering confidence, encouraging her to go inside and give it her best. With a resigned sigh, she mustered her courage and entered the building, leaving him outside. As she disappeared through the doors, her husband made a call. He spoke to someone, ensuring that his wife would receive full support and confirming that no other family should have any involvement in future projects. Inside the building, the woman approached the reception desk, unsure if the company's influential vice chairman would even meet her. To her surprise, a poised assistant came over, addressing her by name and informing her that the vice chairman was expecting her. When she sat stunned by the unexpected recognition, she followed the assistant, eventually entering the elegant office. The vice chairman stood to greet her warmly, introducing herself with respect. The woman, though nervous, explained her purpose. She handed over her portfolio and humbly pitched her company's dedication and reputation in the industry. After glancing at the documents, the vice chairman smiled and stated that the woman's company was the perfect fit for the project. The woman, shocked by how smoothly things were progressing, asked about the chairman who had approved this decision. The vice chairman only mentioned the chairman's last name, adding that he held the woman in high regard. She then declared, "It's a joyous day today, as we've won the contract. Now we must hurry and prepare to build a solid partnership." One person reminded her, "Since we've won the deal, shouldn't you announce the appointment of the new director as promised?" She paused, her thoughts swirling. While she had promised the director position to the winner, she wasn't entirely pleased with the outcome. What if giving them such power made them harder to control? She didn't want to lose control over them. Realizing that withdrawing the promise would be unwise, she said, "Let's do this instead. Tomorrow night we'll host a banquet to announce our collaboration and introduce the new director to everyone." The winner of the contract felt relief and smiled, knowing that the position was finally theirs. They would no longer be sidelined, and their family would finally hold their heads high. She then turned to the new director and said, "I need you to do something. Contact the chairman and invite him to the banquet. If he attends, it will elevate our family status." He smiled, knowing the truth, but pretended to be surprised and proud of her. She, however, was still confused. It felt as if the deal had been handed to her, rather than something she had fought for. She quickly changed the subject to avoid telling him about Doris's remarks. Back at the office, the atmosphere was tense. Everyone had expected her to fail and was ready to mock her. When she returned much earlier than expected, they sneered at her. One person even mocked her for failing before she had a chance to get in. But Claire, trying to stay calm, told them she had secured the deal with the company. The room erupted in disbelief. One person accused her of forging the contract, while another dismissed it as impossible. She handed the contract to the head of the family, and when they saw the amount, $60 million, they were stunned. Yet, some still refused to accept it, insisting she was lying. The head of the family, embarrassed and furious, demanded her resignation. Just as she was about to speak, someone shouted that the company had confirmed the deal on their social media. The truth had finally come out, leaving everyone in shock. The sudden roar shocked everyone in the room. Without wasting a moment, everyone grabbed their phones and rushed to check the official social media account of Emgrand Group. To their surprise, the account had posted an official statement confirming the news. The deal was done, and it was worth twice as much as expected. And all of this happened in just half an hour. It was unbelievable. How could something like this happen so easily? One person felt a deep sense of regret. Before today, they had been far superior to her in terms of status and identity. Had they agreed to take on the task yesterday, it was clear that she wouldn't have had a chance to shine. But they had turned it down, afraid of failure. Now, seeing her success, it felt like a slap to the face. In excitement, a woman picked up the contract and began reading it aloud. She smiled and praised the success. Then, she asked how it all happened. The girl, still unsure of what to say, hesitated for a moment. She didn't even know who the chairman of Emgrand Group was, so she decided to be vague and simply mentioned that someone important from Emgrand thought highly of her family.